Martin's Test Shaves. It's Saturday, 5th of July. I wanted to do it on America's birthday yesterday, but I got doing other things. Anyway, a little shave today, a bit of a special, as usual, bit of a special. I'm going to use the Mad Bird on the Dragon. We're going to use the Kaizan, the Ariana and Evans. I'm going to use two razors. It's going to be a little bit of a minor fight-off between a Filharmonica and a rather nice Puma, and see which one shaves best. So we'll try and do one side with the Puma and one side with the Filharmonica. The Filharmonica, strange story. It was almost unused from a top collector in Spain about 3 years ago. I've only used it a couple of times. I went to test it today, the hanging hair test, and it didn't pass. And I thought, oh, this is very strange. So I've spent about half an hour messing about here in my bathroom. I'm using, to regain a decent edge, which is essential, I've actually used a loom strop, which came from another source in England. And this loom strop, and this is the strangest part, it's a Filharmonica loom strop. I'd never seen one before. And it also came, which I couldn't believe my luck, with Filharmonica loom paste, which is brown. So we've all tried the different pastes, I'm sure, to revitalise an edge. But this one was very significantly different. It comes in a little block, wrapped in nice paper. I've got it actually locked inside the loom strop, so you can't really see it very well. Anyway, it's a brown paste. It was all right. I mean, it's brought the edge back, I think, but the proof of the pudding is in the eating. This Kaizan's nice stuff. I've used it quite a few times before. Mad Bird on Dragon. Smells of sweets, but I rather like it actually. The reason I'm using it though is because I rather like the splash. I used that the other day in the last shave, and the Kaizan Mad Bird splash is actually very nice, very gentle. So we're going to have a go with that in a minute. So first of all, do you think that's sufficient? Yeah, I think it's sufficient. Allow me to dry my fingers just for a sec. Important. And show you this, which is, now that is a Filharmonica, brand new but unused, many years old, with a Filharmonica loom strop, which I'm now the proud owner of. That's the paste, pasted side. Inside is the little sachet, little cardboard box with the brown paste in. And yeah, it seems to have worked quite well. We'll give it a go. Here is the Filharmonica in question. This is the Especial para Barbas Duras. This is a big, big beast. Absolutely mint. Has been used a couple of times, I would imagine, in the past. This is the one with the rubber gaiter, the non-slip rubber gaiter. They're usually missing. And when it closes down like that, it's got a special pocket. But the strange plastic material, which is a sort of a plastic version of pearl, as in mother of pearl. Yeah, they stain, just like the real mother of pearl stains. For all I know, it might be real mother of pearl. Anyway, I'm going to just use this for the first pass and see what happens. See if I've regained a decent edge. Yeah, it's all right. I think I could do better. Yeah, I'm sure I could do better. Now it's dragging. Now that means, unfortunately, as I've tried this on a loom strop, it hasn't quite worked the magic. Yeah, it's dragging. Now that means I've got to put it back to the stones, and I don't want to do that. Oh, these razors are always going to be sought after. They are the best. But look at the size of that. It's got the Filharmonica etching, the special Parabarbas duros on the edge. This is going to have to go back to the Stones, I think. Anyway, before I say that, let's just try as a comparison this rather beautiful Puma. And the Puma, it's an unfair fight because the Puma is good steel. So there's the beautiful Puma case, and there's the beautiful Puma in question. This is a quality razor. It's got 3 studs, which always is a sign of quality. And it's got a beautiful gold panel with Parabarbas dure. So there, Puma, pour, barbe dure for barber's use. Let's see how that goes on the moustache. Yeah, better edge. Well, well, well. Yeah, but the old skin is not at its best at the moment, I suspect. Let's try the other side. It's been a sort of a slightly frantic and strange last couple of days. I think that affects your skin and it affects how you shave. Skin is a reflection of your body's health. If you've got a bit of stress going on, which I have, then no, it's not a good thing. The size of this razor, this is the number 39, and it's a 6/8, which is a very, very convenient size. So I'm going to plough on just a little bit more, because I like the Puma today better than the Filharmonica. Yeah, doesn't seem to be dragging. Yep. Although this is a lot of stubble, so it's a bit unfair. Yeah, I think it's been one of those strange weeks. Probably a bad day to do a test. The other test I try to do is if the first pass has been awkward on heavy stubble, perhaps without enough preparation, we do another pass, try the Filharmonica on a second pass. I just feel a little bit more comfortable with 6/8 and larger blades. Obviously, it so depends on what you get used to. If you're into 5/8, you'll very soon attune to the joys of a 5/8. If you're into bigger razors, you're into bigger razors. I think 6/8 is a very, very good size. I've always been happy with 6/8. I think it was the first razor I actually used as a 6/8, German of course. Yeah, so anyway, there she is. This is the Barbe dure for barber's use only, and it's also etched Puma on it. I'm going to use a fresh, brand new flannel for the simple reason these lovely new cotton flannels are the best possible way to make sure your blades keep nice and straight and fresh and don't corrode. Very useful tool. Right, let's go back to this rather recalcitrant, beautiful Filharmonica and see if we can do a slightly better pass. I'm going to put a little bit more fresh lather on. When it comes to lather quality, I'm no real expert. But I do like the aroma. If you like sweets, and who doesn't? And this is a good aroma on a very nice quality soap. So let's put the Mad Bird back. Mad Bird. And do another couple of passes, this time with the Filharmonica, the expensive Filharmonica. Yeah, as I suspected, it was struggling on the heavy stubble. After one pass, it's not too bad. Do I take it back to the stones? I don't know. Yeah, difficult decision. I'm not saying that it's going to cause any more wear on the razor, because it won't. A razor like this, looked after, not dropped, but looked after, should last about 20 lifetimes. Because they don't need very much touching up if they're loved and looked after. And the steel is paramount, and of course, as I've always said, Filharmonica steel is about as good as it gets. Yeah. Going against the grain, it's actually quite good. Which begs the question, why, on its first pass, was it so hesitant? The rest of the edge is absolutely perfect. The first pass on heavy stubble is a bit of a tester. That's what it's about, isn't it? Testing. Yeah, it definitely isn't dragging now. Second pass is good. Anyway, I hope everyone is having a wonderful start to the weekend. I'm not going to be contentious today. I see President Trump has got his bill through. I'm always amazed by the differing opinions on things like that. His own side, the Republicans, are obviously saying whoopee-doo, and Democrats and doubters are saying no. So always amusing to see what our cousins are up to. I would mention about our politics in England, but it's not really worth it, because we're led by mules, donkeys and idiots. See if I can do a little bit of a trim just there. Isn't that a lovely thing to be able to trim with a big razor? Yeah, it's beautiful. Why anybody would shave with anything else is quite beyond me. However, do you know, I think that's going to call that a day. So chaps, we have the strange problem of too many days stubble, and this big Filharmonica just slightly struggled on the first pass, whereas this beautiful 6/8 Puma didn't. Look at the difference in blade size though. That is a full 8/8. In fact, it's beyond 8/8, so it's beyond an inch. But beautiful hollow ground, as are they both. Very, very deep hollow ground. I'm still debating with this one. Do I or don't I take it back to the stones? If I do, I'll probably put a 20k edge on it, but we'll see. Anyway, that's it, guys. I'm going to now wash off my mush. I'm going to put a little bit of splash on and call it a day. I've got lots of things to do today, not least of which is keeping my eye on the tide, because when it's holiday season, You have to be very careful on a beach where you're slinging stones. Otherwise, end up with lots of complaints. We don't want any of that. So let's put a bit of this Mad Bird on Dragon splash, which is a very, very gentle splash. Oh, that is lovely. You can just feel you've put something on, but there's no bitiness to it. It's just lovely and smooth and very scented. Blimey. Yeah, I've forgotten how much I like it, as the actress said to the bishop. Anyway, so there you go. There's the splash. There's the soap. And I think all in all, I'm not terribly unhappy with the shave today. I wish the Filharmonica had actually been put away with a better edge. It's been a couple of years since I've used it, and I think I stropped it okay, but there was something just not quite right. So I might go back to the stones. Otherwise, a tiny bit of loss of steel on such a giant razor, it's not going to make any difference. It's just the effort of putting it back to the stones. But if I do, it'll be beyond blistering. You can't beat a Filharmonica edge. Unless it's today, in which case the Puma beat it. However, on that happy note, I'll bid you all adieu and see you all soon. Thanks for following. I do appreciate it. And look, I got my skater top on today, but I'm not skating. I'm slinging. Anyway, chaps, thanks for, and if you haven't, please do. Thanks for following, and see you all soon. Martin's Test Shaves, over and out.